I would love to, of course, welcome you again uh, on another session of the Victory Art Seminar. And we spoke about diversifying income. However, right now we're gonna talk a little bit more about selling your art, your services, yourself online. Uh, so this gives you actually a massive advantage because you are able to connect with people, you're able to talk to your audience, to reach your audience 24/7. You're able to actually build relationships with people uh, you wouldn't actually build relationships with. And again, it can help you to diversify your income, and it can go really beyond traditional sources. And I don't mean only galleries and exhibitions, but I mean uh different kinds of sources you might have as a creative, right? Like maybe your part-time job, or I don't know, your contract with some company. Depends how you work. But that gives you really big freedom. That of course gives you certain kind of responsibility in terms of managing the cultural expectations, managing expectations of people, being as well a little bit harder, that you're so available, you're so out there, that can be as well a bit kind of challenging for some people. And that is actually the moment when you're really becoming your own boss, because you need to, think about what you can deliver to your client, how you can deliver it in the best way possible, and how to actually create the reoccurring client, like someone who really wants to come back. There are multiple ways how you can do these kind of things, and we're going to discuss this more into depth. So, especially if you're a visual artist, you might be actually looking into different marketplaces, right? However, this doesn't go only for the visual artist, but it goes as well for other creatives and freelancers. There might be really specialized marketplaces. Let's say, I think that there was one specifically for freelancers. I completely forgot what was its name, but it was pretty broad. The thing is that anytime you're on such kind of platforms, marketplace, it gives you pretty great advantage, right? That you can really approach people who you wouldn't normally approach. But again, we're coming back to the topic and to the discussion of knowing your audience, having really good promotion. And again, it's a little bit tough to stand up, right? Stand out. So when you're trying to stand out on these platforms, that can be very demanding. A lot of people are asking that why am I still not selling when I'm trying to sell through some specific platform? But usually it's about marketing. You always need to have the perspective that there are so many competitors who are on the same platform as you. They want to do the same thing. And what makes you different is the way how you're presenting yourself. So we're coming back again to the branding topic. How you communicate with people, how clearly you say about your service. How do you know your audience and how you're targeting them? It's very, very important to have these basics. You might get a lot of maybe you live in like a smaller country, or you're in a smaller area and you're doing something very, very niche, what you normally that you're not able to actually promote well or sell well in your area. However, that's actually really amazing thing to do, but you always need to know that when you're communicating with someone who is um who is somewhere else, that just requires completely different way how to work. And especially when you're a person who is offering service, who is not only offering something pre-made, the communication needs to be a little bit more intense. So that's why I'm saying that you're going to be probably more available, and you need to consider as well the fact whether this is the way you want to go. No, because this kind of collaborations, really, you need to have a more intensive collaboration when you're offering especially some service. When you're selling your art, your service, whatever you're selling online, you can do it through different places, right? You can have your own website. What comes with its own challenges, like the whole SEO promotion, the whole technical thing behind it, the whole building behind it. It's different. However, it's always going to be only one person on the website. What's kind of advantage? But on the other hand, how people will find you. So again, the marketing topic, this is more technical marketing, so we're not going to dive into the SEO and the way how the search engines work. But this can be, I would say that if you're trying to sell anything online and you don't have your website, there are different ways how you can do it. However, it's always good to have at least some simple website, even when you're not selling directly through your website, because honestly, that comes with another additional administrational hassle. Basically, just creating the payment gate on the website. It comes with so many other costs. I don't really want to dive into this topic because we would be here for another 2 hours. But having just a website with certain information and pushing people further, whether it's another marketplace, whether it's some social platform where they can purchase your products from, it's just so beneficial. Another way, specifically, if you don't want to really have the website, but you still want to kind of sell things online, these days you can even reuse Meta. You can create a Meta profile, you can create a shop on Facebook, you can create a shop, you can tag your product, you can tag your service on Instagram, you can do it even on LinkedIn. Especially with Meta, it used to be a little bit more user-friendly, where different platforms could really have in their profile the shops. Now it's becoming a little bit less transparent than it used to be, but that's due to change of strategy of Meta. But if you don't want to do the website, you can always do it in such kind of way. You can reuse the social platform. What's as well not the best kind of way, but it's one, like there's no one perfect way how to do things. It's really all about what works for you. Sorry. And then of course you have different specialized platforms, but we already discussed about this. Anyway, before you're starting, you really need to choose the right place where you're going to sell your service through. You need to understand the conditions which that service comes with. So if you're using some external platform for booking, how much are they charging you, when they're paying you? Like all these things are super important to understand. Or if you are creating your own payment gate on your website, sometimes I know that some companies even don't accept the individuals. They're really only business focused. So maybe you need to even set up a company. So it really depends what are your preferences and what you feel comfortable with in terms as well, looking at the legal perspective. So coming really back to what we said before, the target audience. It's crucial. If you still don't know the target audience, we have a problem. Second thing, you need to have your pricing on mind, and you cannot keep changing your pricing. Just a second, please. Okay. You need to have certain way how you're creating your pricing. You need to understand what additional cost you have by offering this service, and you need to include it in the price. If you start with 200 euros per hour and then next week you change the price to 100 euros per hour, this is massive difference, right? But I'm just giving you example. People will not trust you. People will see that you don't know your worth. People will understand that other people don't want to invest in your service, don't want to purchase your service, don't want to purchase your art. So make sure that before you start, you have it clear. Do even small market research, but please don't include your friends and family. Especially when you're asking about personal questions or like their personal perspectives, because they will be always influenced at least a little bit, because they will know that you're somehow involved. So the best thing is to ask the colleagues, is to ask maybe friends of your friends who don't have any association with you, just to really get a good idea what people in your area are interested to invest in, or really check different data, statistics, places online. This can help you so much. We already discussed the pricing before, especially of art, visual art, I mean. But please really do your research before you put yourself out there. That makes you look so much more professional. And of course, make sure that you look for different tools which can help you to really promote yourself on such kind of platforms, right? Sometimes some platforms offer like a push, like a special marketing push, might be interesting. Sometimes platforms might be offering shipping. Sometimes platforms might be offering the payment tools, payment gates, right? So many different ways how you can utilize platforms, but really think which platform is good for you. Of course, having a professional profile, good story with some tangible results you had, with some great examples of what you did, with some professional picture, very important. Especially when you're offering service, having good LinkedIn profile with reviews, or just having the reviews on the platform, your website, massive advantage. It's going to be advantage. So if you can really put your effort there. When you are before you're actually preparing your listing, especially if you're creative, you're an artist, make sure that you have high quality images. So many artists have, selfies, they have weird kind of images. And please make sure that you can have only one picture which you're putting everywhere. But if it looks good, if it's professional, then it's amazing. I don't want to dive into technical aspect, but if you're able to research a little bit about SEO and in general search engine optimization, doesn't matter Google, if it's Google, doesn't matter if it's Edge, doesn't matter if it's Yahoo, whatever, have a look at it. It's going to help you out a lot. And even though you don't have your own platform, you're on Instagram, you are on like any other social media, or you are outsourcing yours, or like you're selling your service through a different platform. Anytime you are optimizing, search engine optimizing, it's going to help you out so, so much. So make sure that you dive into this topic a little bit. We already discussed the pricing. Another thing is that before you sell your art online, you need to as well know about the policies. So especially when you are selling through someone else, double check, triple check it 4 times, 5 times. What kind of policies they have and what are your responsibilities, especially towards the middleman and then towards the client, because sometimes you might actually lose a lot of money if you don't know what are maybe some of their fees, some of their fines, and etc. So definitely have a look at it. And if you're someone who is selling your services online, it depends where you're based. I assume that all of us is based in Visegrad countries. You need to have just a second. I'm gonna double check it, but you need to have GDPR on your website. You need to have terms and conditions. You need to have. I'm checking actually our website because we have everything there. Terms and conditions, privacy, and you need to, privacy is very important. You need to have cookies policy, you need to have the return policy, you need to have the contract for returns. It is basically something like a cancellation contract, but that goes both for selling art and selling the service. So definitely check it out. I believe that this is pretty much updated. What I just said, it's pretty much up to today, but I would definitely suggest you to really check it out because it can make your life very, 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 very harsh, very, very tough, very, very bad if you don't have these kind of things on your website, on your platform. And I don't mean website where you just share your information. No, I mean really on your website when you're selling something through your website. It's important. You can always kind of get a shortcut for your website or like make your life a little bit easier, especially if you don't have a lot of technical background. You can reuse platforms like a Squarespace, Shopify, Wix to create a very nice design looking platforms. They're usually simple to create. On the other hand, you have a lot of limits and limitations in general on these platforms. And in terms of security, I heard a lot of bad stories about, security of such kind of platforms. So I would definitely suggest you to really make a calculated and well-informed decision before starting your website. But in terms of the payment gates, usually these kind of platforms are making payment gates more accessible to normal users, to individuals. So just make sure that you really compare all these platforms and that you choose one which really works for you. Anytime you're selling anything online, you need to just build trust with the buyers. And we already spoke about it many times, but you just need to create certain connection. You need to make them feel something. You need to make them feel secure, that they can trust you, that they get a good service from you. Offering multiple options, payment options, is amazing thing. However, we need to have reality check. Might be a little bit tougher to achieve usually. So try to basically find option which works for you and is pretty accessible for your clients, especially when they're coming from all around the world, because some payment methods are very popular in one country, but they are absolutely not popular elsewhere, right? I believe that I'm gonna give you pretty pretty big example of like how different things can work. In America, you can pay usually almost everything with Apple Pay, Google Pay. In Vietnam, I believe the Google Pay was only introduced, and Apple Pay, especially Apple Pay, was introduced 2023, right? So it depends where you're selling. In Netherlands, where I am based, Ideal is very popular. No one knows about it in Visegrad countries. So try to find a way how you can make it accessible to everyone. Transfer directly to bank account is kind of last resort, but still works. These days, people are, of course, a little bit more hesitant to do something like that, but in the worst case, there is still that option. If you are really trying to be serious about what you're doing and you don't optimize your website or your portfolio for people who are browsing on their phones, you're doing a big mistake, because a lot of people these days find you online, just grab their phone, they scroll on their phone. A lot of people just purchase through their phone. If your platform or your website is not optimized for mobile devices, that's pretty big issue. In terms of tablets, it's a little bit more like people rather excuse not optimize website for tablets than for phones. I think that I was checking personally Victory Art statistics. I think we have only 5% users to come through tablets, so not a lot of people are using it. People who are coming to our website, but that might not be case for you. Therefore, having a good marketing analytics, knowing who is coming, where they are coming from, what they're browsing on, when they are looking at your profile at your website is very important. And if you're having a multiple purchase options on your website, I mean, it can be full service, it can be limited service, it can be artwork, it can be print, gives users well more room to actually look at things and choose something what's right for them. I wouldn't really suggest you to create so many options, because people tend to get lost in what they're looking for. People tend to get lost in what they want, and sometimes they don't purchase anything. But definitely having a few more options is perfect. When you're providing great customer service, people are more willing to give you reviews. They definitely appreciate more the clear communication. And if these kind of things are there, people are more likely to come back and actually become again your client or refer you to someone else. So really think about these kind of things, that you keep the communication clear, you keep people updated, you keep them going. If you have the social media integration, or you promote yourself, your art, your service on social media, of course, more people will get to know you. It's really crucial to do maybe some kind of stories, or like just telling them about the process of your service or your art, how you're making it, how you're creating it. That gives them so much more confidence to actually invest in you. Sending them regular updates about what you're doing is perfect. We already discussed these kind of things before, but just keeping them in loop, keeping them updated about the upcoming collaborations you might have is perfect thing. Having a cross collaborations, sorry, I'm still sick. Having a cross collaborations with other people, with other companies, can help you out a lot as well. Doing a certain advertising. We already discussed if it's advertising done by someone else. I mean, either like push from through the platform you're using, or you are working with someone who understand it, or you have knowledge in it, it's perfect. But unless you have knowledge, it's in advertisement, or you know how social media or different advertisement options you want to use work, I wouldn't really dive into it because you will be just losing money. This goes especially for the physical artworks you're selling. Packaging is very important. If you're able to use high quality sustainable materials to protect your art, that's amazing. However, shipping and logistics, it's completely different topic. So I'm gonna only mention a few things. If you're able to include some thank you note or certificate of authenticity, great, please do it. People love this kind of thing. Make sure that you do your research about the carrier you're choosing, and that you as well check if they're able to ship such kind of product, artwork, or whatever you're selling the way you want it. Because some shipping companies, logistic companies, really don't care about fragile packages. So make sure that you check the reviews, that you know that actually what's happening. And if you're handling some returns and issues, communicate very openly. I wouldn't really suggest you to argue with the clients. Especially laws in Europe are more pro-client. They're more focused on helping the clients. So you probably won't really gain much out of it, but really try to resolve the problem in a very rational way. One, sorry. So, one of massive things I noticed while working with artists for over 7 years is that not many artists can do invoice. They usually struggle with it very much. And that's why our team literally just gave up at some point, and we created a template for artists to copy and fill in by themselves when they need to do it. This, of course, like there's a name, like over here. It's basically who you are, and of course who you're billing to, some details. This is a very simple invoice, very standard invoice with all company details or your personal details you need. It's actually very funny to me that so many people want to actually earn money online, but they don't know how to do this kind of invoice, because anytime you sell service, you sell artwork, you need to create it. And that's why we're gonna share with you as well this kind of invoice template tomorrow in the email. So I just wanted to tell you that you can literally copy it or download it into your computer, and you can reuse it anytime you want. As always, we're going to share with you all the details tomorrow as well, including the recordings. And this time you will not have a week to work on it. You will have 3 weeks to work on everything. And we are supposed to meet again on the 21st, of May, and we're going to discuss the transitioning from emerging to established artists and collaborating with art institutions and museums. We already had topic about collaborations with artists or other creatives, but that's completely different than working with art institutions and museums. So I'm really looking forward to see you in 3 weeks. If there are any questions right now, please write it in the chat, or raise your hand, or raise your voice, or unmute your mic. But I want to as well mention that the consultancies, that we still have a few spots available for consultancies. There were a few consultancies which already happened. But I know that some of you booked only one consultancy. So if there are some extra available spots, we're gonna definitely update you, keep you updated about that. And yes, yes, Jason, tell me.
Hi, Victoria. Just really simple question. And sorry I'm asking this because I know you're really sick, so hope you can bear with me a little bit. Yeah, just thinking about from the Victory Arts perspective, like maybe could you maybe share, if you don't mind, like the process of putting Victory art on the map, especially when it comes to being in Rotterdam, right? It's a completely different setting when you compare it to like a Slovakia or Czech Republic. So having this kind of presence, like a non, let's say, Dutch sort of entity in the Netherlands, and really finding success. Especially with regards to everything you just said about, having a brand, having, an exposure. Just maybe very quickly, if you could like just bring us through like how tough that was.
Yeah, actually, this is a amazing question. So, one thing what you all need to understand when before you're promoting yourself, before you're starting your business, your entrepreneurial scene, road journey, whatever, you will need to educate people about what you're doing. So there's one perspective. But educating people about um, historical aspects and the state of market in completely different country they have limited knowledge about, uh, and usually not have that much emotional association with, is completely different topic. It's like it was definitely tough to make people understand the aspect. I have to say that in the beginning, of course, like when you're starting something, and I have to be very transparent, I was as well much younger when I started Victory Art, and our team was as well much younger. We had this huge amount of passion in order to, or in general, just to promote this kind of state of market in Central and Eastern Europe. And I have to say that a lot of people were interested and were listening, but of course, like there's difference between listening and then there's difference between acting on actually what you listen to and purchasing or supporting or some kind of like that. I have to say that definitely one thing what helped us was the consistency. And I believe that unless you are consistent in a creative market, you are not able to actually make it. We had 3 weeks ago, we had here Andrea Ehret. Actually, we were just installing the exhibition of Andrea, so she's with me right now. And she had her overnight success after 25 years. She literally told you. It took her 25 years. And why she had this kind of success was only because of the consistency. Another aspect, what worked specifically for Victory Art, was Corona. I have to say, like Corona for us was really amazing because our aim was to start as a marketplace. And Victory Art, like the beginnings was 2017, 2000 officially launched 2018, so it was like really good timing for the marketplaces still. But during Corona 2020 to 2022, the end 2022 was really amazing years because people are usually staying home, they were browsing, so this was really this kind of market response. And after this period, or a little bit during that period, while consumer preferences changed and our focus changed as well, we got, sadly, this is kind of like a sad thing, what I'm gonna say, but we got sadly lucky with Ukraine as well, because suddenly a lot of people started looking at this region again. So once there's certain kind of cultural, geopolitical, societal challenge, people just start looking at certain region, right? And that region becomes a little bit more popular. And we received a huge amount of support for Ukrainian artists, especially in 2022 and 2023. We donated everything what we got to the Ukrainian artists so they can create, they can secure their culture. But this gave certain exposure as well to other countries we're working with. So it was all these things, so it was first really just consistency. Then once you have this consistency and you build something, we were able to really leverage the corona only because we had certain presence online, we had certain partners we worked with, people basically believe that they can purchase from us, from a company they don't know that well, and then they will receive what they got. So there was the base which came from consistency, then it was market, and then it was this geopolitical situation which made people more aware about the region. So if I should say it simply.
Thank you so much, and please get well soon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, guys?
Not here, no, but thank you so much for today and for powering through for us.
Thank you. I'm really glad I made it. I was concerned if I will be able to speak for 2 hours, but it's good that we made it. So thank you very much, guys. We're gonna see each other on the 21st of May. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to my colleagues at victoria@victoriaart.eu or directly to the curator at curator@victoriaart.eu. Yes. Take care, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.